Keima Katsuragi is an expert in online romance games, but throughout his life he has always cared more for girls in his video games than girls in real life. This changes one day when he accidentally gets into a deal with a demon called Elsie. Elsie explains that she needs his help to catch evil spirits that have escaped hell and are now residing in the hearts of girls near him, and he will face dire consequences if he doesn't fulfill this task. Eventually, Keima is able to help the 5 girls that are targeted by the evil spirits. This includes Ayumi Takahara, a classmate of his on the school's track team who he helps to encourage to compete, as well as Mio Aoyama, a daughter from a wealthy family that has run into troubled times which she eventually overcomes. The girl named Kana Nakogawa, who is a young idol who is helped by Keima in her career. A shy student librarian named Shiori Shinomiya, who uses books to escape reality and her bad situations, but is eventually helped by Keima to be more confident in herself. Now Keima and Elsie only have one target remaining. One day, Keima begins to theorize why the evil spirits were drawn to these particular girls. But when he and Elsie are brainstorming, they are attacked by a gang of troublemakers until a girl named Kusunoki Kasuga steps in to save them. Kusunoki is the sole member of the girls' karate club at their school, and while Kusunoki reprimands Keima for his frailty, Elsie senses a spirit within her. Despite discovering from Elsie that many members of the girls' karate squad had resigned due to Kusunoki's severe demeanor, Keima implores her to take him under her wing to delve deeper into her world. Initially declining, she reluctantly consents, swayed by Keima's handsome appearance. Keima struggles to discern her true nature until he witnesses her affectionately embracing a feline, uncovering her tender side. Blushing and infuriated, Kusunoki attempts to eject the cat from the balcony, but a manifestation of her benevolence materializes and rescues the cat. Keima comprehends that this apparition exposes her gentle side whenever she encounters adorable things. To fully evoke her femininity by engaging in the most feminine activity, Elsie proposes that Kusunoki accompany Keima on a date, much to their chagrin as they reluctantly acquiesce. Kusunoki feels mortified during her outing with Keima but perseveres, hopeful that it will coax out her feminine side. Failing to establish a connection during their rendezvous, Keima and Kusunoki opt to indulge in some ice cream together, deeming it the epitome of romance. After overcoming their initial awkwardness, her feminine aspect finally emerges, and the two engage in a fierce struggle for supremacy. Amidst their clash over the legacy of the family dojo versus embracing womanhood, Keima intervenes, suggesting that they need not choose one over the other, but can embrace both, drawing a parallel to the notion that a cat can embody both cuteness and strength. Kusunoki's feminine side confesses to enjoying her time with Keima despite her initial reluctance. As a parting gesture, her feminine aspect takes control of her body to kiss Keima, culminating in the release of the spirit within her, captured by Elsie. Kusunoki persists in her martial arts pursuits while embracing her femininity. Later, Elsie attempts to elucidate the abilities of the malevolent spirits to Keima. However, she inadvertently becomes ensnared in a spirit-capturing vessel belonging to her comrade and fellow spirit hunter named Haqua du Lot Herminium. Elsie is thrilled to reunite with her friend Haqua, a prodigy who once ranked among the top students in their class and now holds the esteemed position of section chief in her department. Haqua boasts of capturing 10 spirits, though she initially doubts Elsie's claim of having already captured 5. A report surfaces about a spirit running amok in the vicinity, attributed to the failure of another spirit hunter. Keima, aware that Haqua was the one who failed to contain the spirit, offers to locate it within the school premises in exchange for information about the malevolent spirits. Haqua elucidates that these spirits are the remnants of demons who were vanquished and sealed away by their righteous counterparts. Despite their imprisonment, these malevolent entities found refuge within the hearts of young girls, prompting spirit hunters to capture them before they can be reborn as demonic entities. Inferring that the spirit thrives on negativity, Keima leads Haqua to the school theater, renowned as the most dismal locale on campus. Keima decides to defer to Haqua's expertise, but she confesses to never having captured a spirit, and fabricating her success to save face. Elsie confirms to Haqua that the spirit has indeed taken residence within the school theater. The spirit has amassed considerable strength by feeding on the negative energies emanating from the unconscious students nearby, subsequently making its way to the rooftop by overtaking these students to obstruct Haqua and Elsie. Haqua is overcome with distress as she realizes she has fallen short of her own standards, paving the way for the spirit to take control of her. By the time Keima and Elsie arrive on the rooftop, Haqua has succumbed to the spirit's influence, using her and the possessed students to ensnare them. The sole means of freeing Haqua from the spirit's grasp is to quell the turmoil within her own heart. Haqua is burdened with shame for deceiving Elsie, fearing she has tarnished her image as a role model. Despite her missteps, Elsie embraces Haqua, continuing to regard her as the epitome of a great spirit hunter. Eventually, Haqua manages to break free from the spirit's control. She wards off the possessed students, and Elsie successfully captures the malevolent entity. Haqua expresses gratitude to Keima for his assistance, and for keeping her deception hidden from Elsie earlier. Keima commends Elsie for her stellar performance, prompting her to treat both him and Haqua to lunch in celebration. Upon discovering there are still 60,000 spirits awaiting capture, before fulfilling his contract, Keima plunges into despondency, exacerbated by the taunts of his upbeat classmate, the jovial Chihiro Kosaka. Later, Elsie detects a nearby spirit, residing within none other than Chihiro herself, much to Keima's dismay. Refusing to aid Elsie this time, Keima argues that Chihiro lacks any discernible unique traits. Nevertheless, they observe Chihiro's confession to a fellow classmate, only to witness her heartbreaking rejection. The following day, Keima endeavors to console Chihiro, only to witness her revert to her former self, disclosing her string of romantic rejections. Keima admonishes Chihiro for trifling with matters of the heart, but she retaliates by pointing out his own fixation on Bishoujo games, striking a nerve within him. Sinking even deeper into despair, Keima isolates himself in his room for days before begrudgingly returning to school, steadfastly avoiding interaction with others. Concerned for his well-being, Ayumi Takahara pays Keima a visit, finding him collapse from malnutrition. Upon learning of their disagreement, Ayumi urges Keima to reconcile with Chihiro. Following a shared lunch, Keima discovers that remnants of affection linger in the hearts of all the girls he has previously assisted. Later, Ayumi orchestrates a ruse, persuading both Keima and Chihiro to undertake cleaning duties together, during which Chihiro expresses genuine remorse for her earlier slight against him. Keima stumbles upon the revelation that Chihiro now harbors feelings for a boy named Yuta by happenstance. Recognizing Chihiro's lackadaisical approach to love, she implores Keima to impart some tactics to win over her newfound crush. The next morning, Elsie subtly hints to Keima that he could indirectly fill the void in Chihiro's heart by aiding her, without direct involvement. Encouraged by this insight, Keima gathers intel on Yuta and devises a plan to help Chihiro make a memorable impression on him. As Keima lays out his final strategy to assist Chihiro in confessing to Yuta the following day, Chihiro begins to take a keen interest in him. As Keima readies Chihiro for her impending confession to Yuta, Chihiro begins to experience doubts, and realizes her growing affection for Keima, prompting her to call off the confession. However, Keima is frustrated that his meticulous preparations have been in vain. Chihiro departs, lamenting that she will never stand out like the other girls. Recognizing his oversight in neglecting Chihiro's emotions, while fixating solely on the confession, Keima resolves to mend their relationship to capture her heart. Tracking down Chihiro aboard a ship, she admits to developing feelings for him due to their shared disillusionment with the real world. Keima clarifies that he has never lost faith in himself despite his disdain for reality, urging Chihiro to adopt a similar mindset. When Chihiro protests, believing herself to be too ordinary to be special, Keima surprises her with a kiss and asserts that as long as she desires it sincerely, nothing can hinder her from becoming extraordinary. This action expels the spirit from Chihiro, allowing Elsie to capture it. With the malevolent entity vanquished, Chihiro undergoes a transformation, exuding newfound cheerfulness and confidence, inspired to embark on her own musical journey by forming a rock band. Meanwhile, Keima begins to reevaluate his existence after reminiscing about the girls he had previously assisted. Keima discovers that a rare first edition of a Bishoujo game named Love Tears will be available for sale in a neighboring town. The following morning, he sets out on the journey with Elsie in tow. En route, Keima enlightens Elsie about the rich history of Bishoujo games and elucidates the distinctions between various editions of the same title. Entrusting Elsie with the task of procuring the game, Keima himself heads to a gaming expo. Upon locating the game, Elsie is confronted with 3 different editions of Love Tears and astutely selects the priciest one. However, she mistakenly purchases the anime adaptation of Love Tears instead, a blunder anticipated by Keima, who had secured the game at the expo just in case. Later, Haqua pays a visit to the Katsuragi household, seeking their assistance with a report concerning the apprehension of the spirit that thrived on negative emotions at the academy. Employing a magical scale model of the school, complete with autonomous dolls representing them and the students, Haqua and Keima collaborate to compile the report. However, Haqua deliberately distorts the sequence of events upon their arrival at the theater, falsely claiming that Keima clung to her instead. In a bid to safeguard her version of events, Haqua destroys the microphone controlling the dolls, preventing Keima from altering her narrative. Prior to their encounter, Haqua had already fabricated a report alleging that Keima had harassed her during the incident, a falsehood depicted by their respective doll counterparts. Misinterpreting the situation, Elsie becomes incensed and joins Haqua in attacking Keima. Amidst the chaos, the dolls are inadvertently set loose. Once order is restored and the dolls recovered, Haqua expresses gratitude for their assistance, though Elsie harbors suspicions regarding Haqua's true motives for visiting Keima. Jun Nages, characterized by her idealism and buoyant demeanor, assumes the role of a new student teacher for Yuri Niketo's class. Initially taken aback by the apparent indifference towards Keima's gaming antics during class, Jun begins to view him as a troublemaker, influenced by the accounts of her fellow educators detailing their own frustrations with him. Despite her initial trepidation, she attempts to engage Keima in conversation about his behavior, only to retreat in fear. However, her resolve to assist him inadvertently invites a malevolent spirit into her body. Upon learning of Jun's predicament, Keima realizes that she presents a formidable challenge, given the ethical complexities of a teacher-student dynamic. Aware that a genuine romantic connection between a teacher and student necessitates a perception of equality, Keima departs the campus to devise a strategy. Meanwhile, Jun spots Keima and assumes he is skipping school. Taking matters into her own hands, she persuades him to join her for lunch, offering a sympathetic ear to his presumed troubles. However, Keima finds himself perturbed by this unexpected turn of events, realizing that capturing Jun's heart may prove to be a protracted endeavor. Keima concocts a scheme to expedite his bond with Jun by attempting to provoke her irritation, and subsequently transmute it into affection. However, this strategy misfires, amplifying her apprehension for his well-being. Upon finally securing a private moment with him in class, Jun shares her belief that Keima employs video games as a means of evading reality, prompting him to reproach her for imposing her own judgments upon him. Left with no alternative, and a need for a new approach, Keima beseeches Neko for additional insights into Jun's background, striking a deal to assist her with schoolwork in exchange for information. Meanwhile, still reeling from Keima's earlier rebuke, Jun resolves to aid her classmates with their studies following Akira Kodama's disparaging remarks branding them as underachievers. However, when the students confess their lack of motivation to improve, a frustrated Jun inadvertently scolds them before abruptly exiting the classroom. Subsequently, Keima discovers that both Jun and Neko were former members of the girls' basketball team, which disbanded following a past incident. Jun heads to a professional wrestling match only to find Keima occupying her seat, courtesy of Elsie discreetly duplicating her ticket. Consequently, she is compelled to sit alongside him throughout the event. Perplexed by her students' rejection of her assistance, Keima inquires about the dissolution of the girls' basketball team during Jun's tenure as captain. He posits that her egocentric idealism drove her teammates away, despite her assertion of prioritizing teamwork refinement. Incensed by his assertions, Jun storms out of the stadium in a fit of anger. The following day, Jun initiates a classroom marathon race in a bid to foster camaraderie among her students. However, feeling overwhelmed by the pressure, the students falter, prompting Jun to flee after berating them as selfish. Suddenly, Keima interjects, addressing their behavior before vanishing from the classroom without warning. Discovering Jun at the abandoned girls' basketball team locker room, Keima confronts her for persisting in her old ways since the team's dissolution. Leading her to the school gymnasium, Keima offers words of solace and encouragement, urging her to persevere and endeavor to garner acceptance for her ideals among her students. Jun's spirits lift when the entire class seeks her out to extend their apologies, much to her delight. Unbeknownst to Jun, Keima had orchestrated the sequence of events deliberately, engineering a scenario where the students would grow to dislike him before expressing concern for her. As Jun's internship draws to a close, Keima implores her to return to the school someday, to which Jun pledges to evolve into a more adept educator by then. In a poignant moment, she kisses him, thereby expelling the malevolent spirit dwelling within her. Despite its lackluster character design, Keima indulges in playing a bishoujo game titled One Leaf, swiftly developing an infatuation with the game's heroine, Yotsuba Sugimoto, whom he perceives as his ideal virtual companion. So enamored is Keima with the game that he opts to savor it at a leisurely pace, disregarding all else throughout the day, much to Elsie's frustration and Haqua's bewilderment. Later that evening, Keima receives an email from the game studio behind One Leaf, seeking his assistance in developing a new bishoujo game under his creative direction. As Keima contemplates ideas for the game, his inner thoughts engage in a spirited debate over the concept of perfection and idealism. However, the internal discord comes to an abrupt halt when they collectively recall the significance of bishoujo games in their lives. With this realization in mind, Keima contacts the game studio, instructing them to focus on creating a high-quality game. And this is all for this video. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.